What's the very first thing you think about when you open your eyes in the morning? For most of us, it's our problems. And in a heartbeat, those problems connect to memories. Those memories connect to people, and places, and things. Instantly, your brain, like a faithful record keeper, begins to play yesterday's story. And if your brain is the record of the past, the moment you start your day, you're already living in the past. Now, every single one of those memories has an emotion attached to it. Emotions are the chemical signature, the final product of past experiences. So, the moment you recall the memory of your problem, a wave of unhappiness washes over you. A pang of sadness, a familiar ache of pain. How you think and how you feel creates your state of being. It creates you. And if your entire state of being is anchored in the past when your day begins, your past is destined to become your future. Think about it. Something happened yesterday that made you angry. You wake up this morning, you think about it, and you feel angry all over again. Do this for a few days. People will say you're having a bad week. Keep doing it for a month, and they'll say you're in a bad mood. Continue long enough, and anger becomes a part of your personality. You become the angry person. Your thoughts, you see, are writing your destiny. If you keep thinking from the past, you will keep creating the same life. A life you might not even like, without ever realizing you are its architect. Here's what that looks like. You wake up, and you grab your phone. You check Instagram. You check your texts. You scroll through emails. You glance at the news. And now, you feel connected. Not to yourself, but to everything known and familiar in your life. From there, the autopilot takes over. You get out of bed on the same side. You walk to the bathroom. You pour coffee into your favorite mug. You take a shower, get dressed, and drive the same route to work, where you see the same people who push the same emotional buttons. And when it's all over, you hurry home to do it all again tomorrow. This routine isn't just a routine. It's a program. And you have surrendered your free will to that program. It's no longer you running the show. It's the program. Here's the staggering truth. By the time we are 35 years old, 95% of who we are is a memorized set of behaviors, emotional reactions, unconscious habits, hardwired beliefs, and perceptions that function just like a computer program. So, with your 5% conscious mind, you can say, I want to be happy. I want to be healthy. I want to be free. But your body is being run by the 95% subconscious program. You're pitting your conscious desire against a deeply embedded system. It's like an average person challenging an Olympic powerlifter to a weightlifting competition. Is it any wonder why real change feels impossible? Why we always go back to the old self and create the same life? So, how do you begin to make real changes? You have to get beyond your analytical mind. Because the analytical mind is the gatekeeper that separates the conscious from the subconscious. And that is where meditation comes in. Through meditation, you learn to slow your brainwaves down. You move past the gatekeeper. And when you do that properly, you can enter the operating system of the subconscious, where you can begin to rewrite the fundamental code. Most people wait for a crisis, a trauma, a disease, a terrible diagnosis. They wait for tragedy to force them to change. Dr. Joe Dispenza's message is simple. Why wait? You can learn and change in a state of pain and suffering, or you can learn and change in a state of joy and inspiration. The choice is yours. Right now, most of us spend 70% of our lives in survival mode, living in stress, constantly anticipating the worst-case scenario, based on a memory from the past. Out of the infinite potentials in the quantum field, we consistently select the worst possible outcome for ourselves. Imagine being handed a menu with an endless list of the most incredible foods and drinks, and you choose the one thing you know will make you sick. That's what we do. Every time you recall that negative event, you produce the exact same chemistry in your brain and body as if the event were happening all over again. Your body is your unconscious mind. It doesn't know the difference between the real experience and the memory you're replaying. To your body, it's happening right now. So when it comes time to finally give up that negative emotion, you can say, I really want to change. But the body is stronger than the mind in that moment. It's been conditioned for years to those toxic emotions. The body was once the servant, but now it has become the master. The moment you decide to change and step into the unknown, the body panics. It doesn't like the unknown. It would rather feel guilt and suffering because at least that's familiar. It's predictable. The unknown is a terrifying place for the body. This is why the second you start to meditate, suddenly your nose itches. You remember an important task you forgot. A random memory from 20 years ago pops into your head. This is your body fighting back. It's saying, come on, let's just give up. Let's go back to our old miserable life. At least we know the rules there. The body will use every tool it has to stop you. Because the unknown is the only place where you can create your future. And the most direct path into the unknown is meditation. Once you are in that deep state, you can begin to create. What new life do you want? What person do you want to become? What behaviors do you want to demonstrate? The act of closing your eyes and mentally rehearsing the future you is the single most powerful way to build that future. Because when you are truly present, your brain does not know the difference between what you imagine and what you experience in real life. Through imagination, you are installing new neurological hardware, new software programs. Your brain is no longer a record of the past. It is now a map to the future. And if you keep practicing, you might just start acting like a happy person. But here's the most crucial part. You have to teach your body emotionally what that future will feel like. You have to feel it before it happens. Thinking about it isn't enough. If thoughts are the language of the brain, feelings are the language of the body. It's through feeling that your body understands what your mind is trying to tell it. If you imagine wealth but you don't feel abundant, your body isn't getting the signal. The moment you start feeling the emotions of your future, you are becoming the creator of your life. You no longer have to wait for success to feel successful. You don't need wealth to feel abundant. You don't need a new relationship to feel love. In the quantum model of reality, the moment you start feeling worthy and abundant, you are generating wealth. The moment you feel love, you are drawing a new relationship to you. You become a creator, not a victim of your past. And you must remember this. Just because you have a thought doesn't mean it's true. Let me repeat that. Just because you have a thought doesn't mean you have to believe it or act on it. You have 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts in one day. 90% of those are the exact same thoughts you had yesterday. If the same thoughts lead to the same choices, which lead to the same behaviors, which create the same experiences, which produce the same emotions, then your life will never ever change. This is why you meditate. To become familiar with the thoughts, behaviors, and emotions of your old self. To observe them until they no longer have power over you. Creating a new self is like planting a new garden. First, you have to pull the weeds. You have to dig out the rocks and the roots of last year's plants. You have to prepare the soil. Only then can you plant the new seeds. Training your body to sit down and be still is like taming a wild animal. You tell it to sit, and it runs away. You bring it back, it runs away again. The moment you begin, your body says, "Hey, it's 8 a.m. We're usually checking emails and getting angry right now. What are you doing just sitting here? We're off schedule. Every time you become aware of this and you bring your attention back to the present moment, you are telling your body that it is no longer the mind. You are the mind. And your will is becoming greater than the program. Do this over and over and over again. And just like a trained dog, eventually, the body will surrender. It will obey. And in that moment of surrender, there is a liberation of energy. You free yourself from the chains of those emotions that kept you shackled to the past. If you do this with true intention for just 7 days, you will start to see a difference. You will catch yourself before you react. You will stop yourself from spiraling into the old, unhappy you. And if you keep going, repeating this process long enough, your future reality will become your current reality. Thanks for watching. There is a liberation of energy. You free yourself from the chains of those emotions that kept you shackled to the past. If you do this with true intention for just 7 days, you will start to see a difference. You will catch yourself before you react. You will stop yourself from spiraling into the old, unhappy you. And if you keep going, repeating this process long enough, your future reality will become your current reality. Thanks for watching.